Tennessee that is accepting cryptocurrency, specifically Hex. So if you watch that clip, you'll notice they're both wearing Hex t-shirts, and the guy buying the mattress in that clip is paying with Hex as well. And as soon as I saw that, I was like so excited. I was actually in my living room and I was like, I'm just gonna call these guys. I bet you I can find them. So I googled, mattress store, Eastern Tennessee, and I was like, that's got to be it. That's best to go. So I called up, and Jermaine answered the phone. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was kind of a funny conversation because 2 days beforehand, we just had some random guy just come in and he was like, "Hey, I saw your Black Friday ad that Richard Hart retweeted." And we're like, "What? How is this like getting about?" And then like you call, and I'm just like, "Okay, this is insanity what the internet has done to us."
yeah, well, and I expected to like talk to some like assistant or secretary that's like, oh, okay. I was like, just tell them it's a hexagon, and I think they're awesome. And then you piped up, you're like, I'm a hexagon too. And then we just moonboyed out and like fanboyed out about how much we love crypto and what's going on. And that's when I was like, you know what, this needs to be on my stream. Like, if you guys would join me on my stream, I'd love to hear your story. So that's why we're here.
Yeah,
So
for having it. Appreciate
thank you
that.
so much for being here. Tell me your backstory about like getting into crypto and how you guys came into this, and then yeah, go ahead.
Start it, Brooks.
I would say my backstory for crypto, probably like a lot of people's, it started with Bitcoin really only about 2 years ago before I started actually like having the confidence to put money into the crypto space. I'd heard about it, many years before, but kind of just was something I didn't want to think about. But as you can imagine, we work here at a mattress store and get a lot of dead time, just hanging out, waiting on people to want to come sleep better, and just in dead time and really just wanting to find something to do with my income. I started asking and digging deeper into crypto, and had one friend that was into it. Started getting a little tidbits from him, and he's definitely a Bitcoin guy, and that's where I started. But it was a good introduction, and then I guess eventually, like a lot of people, they spend their time, they make mistakes, they learn a little bit, but eventually stumbled across Hex. I think uh, Mr. Jermaine over here, was watching some Richard Hart videos one day, and I just peek over his shoulder, and I was like, "Who is this asshole?" I was like, "This guy he is so like blunt and to the point, like." And then I was like, "He's full of crap." And then about a day later, I kept watching his videos, and I was like, "You know what? He's actually a genius. He just tells people how it is. He ain't full of crap." And so that's when I jumped on the Hex train. I think I texted Jordan in the inside. I was like, "Dude, Hex is where I'm headed."
It was
So
like a month, I think, after I gave it to him. He had to nibble on it a little bit, and then that random text like, "I'm a Hexagon." I'm like, "Yes, that's it. That made my day."
Oh, that's awesome.
what about
That's
you?
really
Yeah.
awesome.
And then like me, I about 2 years, about the same Bitcoin exposure. I got really into the altcoins. Kind of rode that train up, kind of rode it down as well. But then I got into Twitter and saw a TA and some people were texting about Hex in it, and they were like, "Stop spamming this," and it makes you want to go look it up. So I'm going to look it up, and then I started reading Richard's books on self-help, and I was like, okay, this guy's legit. Like, and that's what I was like telling him. I'm like, look, he's just trying to benefit people, trying to make your lives better. And so that's just kind of sold me. And then I had been texting Wales, and I'm like, I just need some elementary to help me out. And he just gave me stupid math real quick, and I just, I'm like, okay, I understand it now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shout out to Finbear, Casey, and Lewis in the chat. They're already joining us. Casey says, "Way to go, Galaxy Brains."
Thank
So
you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, and Finbear says, "Mattress beats sticker." which I guess is referring to people like myself that are just putting stickers everywhere. But I guess a mattress is a much better advertising tool than a sticker.
That was we're most stoked about the exposure it brought to Hex. Like this, it was cool to sell a mattress for Hex, but it was even cooler to see Hex make the news. So we were stoked about the exposure.
Right. And do you guys want to go into it all? How you guys got onto TV, or?
Yeah, I'll kind of go. So my wife's a reporter for ABC, and so I kind of pitched her the story once all this started unfolding, and like we got 500 and something retweets on our Black Friday ad, and she's just like, wow, this is going so crazy. And then I told her, like, some guy from the area wants to buy a mattress in Hex. I think you need to pitch the story. And so she did, and they're like, okay, this is starting to become trending. Like, and then his buddy lives in Nashville and was watching the news on their local station, and it popped up there. So I mean, it's already starting to get the exposure, and just from a small little, we're in like a small town, Tennessee,
just a little town in East
town.
Tennessee.
That's great. And what did you guys think when Richard retweeted that ad for the Black Friday sale? Or did he retweet the ad first, or did he retweet the ABC clip?
He retweeted first. He retweeted the Black Friday ad, and then some random person out there from, what's it, Watcher Guru?
Yeah, Watcher.guru
created an article on our Black Friday, and that's kind of how it's like now you can search in Google and we're popular right on the front, so it's kind of crazy how it all just worked out.
I couldn't believe Richard picked it up though, just because like it was just something silly. It wasn't intended to be silly, but like we tweeted it just to say like, hey, we're accepting Hex, and really didn't expect more of it, but to see it like actually take off and like the community run with it, and then eventually get picked up by Richard, we're like, oh crap, like people appreciate this, like that's cool.
And one thing I wanted to say is, like, with that being said, we're not ones to go out and sell our Hex. So what we did was we staked that Hex, and then now in a year we're going to give that interest back out to the employees.
Oh wow! So there's like a profit sharing program with the employees.
Yeah.
And
so they don't they may not even understand what they're going to get, but that's just something the business is going to give them.
Wow. So imagine like the first year goes by and they get this dividend, right? This profit sharing Hex. Like, how hard do you think that's going to make them offer or make sure to mention, hey, we take crypto? The next time someone walks in the door, they're going to be like, yo, hey, do you like crypto? Like, they might onboard them just for that incentive right there. That's awesome.
It's a baby step.
Beautiful. And so now, what do you guys think about everything that's going on right now? I mean, obviously, did you guys get involved in the sacrifice phase for Pulse? What do you guys think about Pulse coming out right now?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I found out about Hex, and like, I mean, any Richard Hart, I'm pretty much project on is going to be down the road for sure. I'm just we both sacked for Pulse. We're probably going to do PulseSwap or whatever it's going to be called. So, I mean,
I see it as the opportunity for the people that aren't day one Hexicans that didn't get in early. It's kind of Richard's like, I told you so. Here's your golden spoon. Like, come on, eat up.
Here's your second opportunity.
Here's your second chance. So I'm definitely going to jump in on PulseChain. Definitely sacrifice, and I'm going to do PulseSwap. I'm more optimistic about PulseChain than PulseSwap, but I think PulseSwap will be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of interesting, the timing of these 2 years. So people that did get in on day one or the earlier OG Hexicans, they've got these crazy gains and they've had this incredible ride up. And, there's a lot of people that were gate kept that didn't hear about Hex, obviously, because of the way it was treated. And so those people now have this second chance, like you said. And the people that were hating on Hex, they can eat crow or just quietly, secretly FOMO into Pulse because maybe their pride won't let them admit how wrong they were about Hex.
Exactly.
Right? So it really presents an opportunity to all sorts of people. I think. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
I think it's really potentially like a life changing opportunity for people that either, like you said, were gate kept and missed the info on Hex, or just naysayers. Like, I think sometimes the best thing you can do in life is swallow your pride. And if you've been a naysayer, you can't argue with Richard. I mean, proof's in the pudding. So swallow your pride and enjoy the ride with him.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself. And so now going forward, you guys are hoping that one of you guys gets to go party with the Hexkins in Charlotte in the upcoming
Yeah.
Quattro Cinco tour with
Yeah.
Freedom TV.
I'm taking my wife over for this weekend tour in Charlotte. Gonna see a bunch of Hexicans, hopefully. Just try to get exposure, like I said, get people familiar. I'm taking my wife. We're going to Vegas, and so I kind of wanted to get her some kind of exposure before we get out there to Vegas, and it's just insane, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say shout out to Crypto Sparbook and Freedom TV for all the work they're doing to bring this information to the masses. I really can't thank them enough. Now, being married, what was your experience with your wife when it came to trying to sit down and be like, hey, there's this magic internet money? It's kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk, right? Like you show up with these magic beans.
Oh,
and you're like, honey, like this is what's gonna make us rich.
Yeah, she still doesn't think it's real. She thinks we're playing with magic money, and but it's one of those things where like you're like, it's not going away. It's not going away. And especially if you treat it like you're not gonna pull your money out tomorrow. You're in this for the long haul, and you're more or less likely not to expose yourself to high risk.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit about my own story. I was back in Bitcoin in 2013 and 14, but I'd never taken profits or brought any money into the real world until this year when I was able to retire from my truck driving job. And when I retired, we took a vacation up to Yellowstone, and that was the first time I took any profits at all, brought them into the real world, and like was able to enjoy this vacation with my family. And she was like kind of blown away, like, oh, I guess this thing, this nerd stuff you've been into for so long is real. But it wasn't real in her mind until she could spend it. And I think that's a pretty common mentality of most females, is like, show me the money.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got to become tangible. It's got to become tangible.
Yeah.
We were talking about that just the other day. Like, if you make gains in crypto, ultimately the whole reason you got in was to make money. So at some point you got to take it out. And so we're talking about just like different ways that looks, but ultimately you got to be able to take that out and exchange it for a real world value at some point. Otherwise you just got internet money.
Right. It's just a game of digital monopoly until you bring it into the real world, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all about holding, and then like I'm planning on holding stuff for a long time, but there's points where you gotta reap the reward of what you've done. I think it's awesome you're able to go on vacation using Bitcoin.
And being a small business owner, you guys have a different perspective than most employees. If I'm an employee, I'm looking 2 weeks ahead to my paycheck, or maybe a few months ahead to my vacation. But as a business owner, you got to think, okay, well, in terms of seasons and months and years, right? Yep. So like it's almost baked into the idea of being a small business owner, is that idea of like, hey, like we got to plan for tomorrow. We got to make sacrifices today to build our company, our brand, and take care of our employees tomorrow. Yeah. And so that must have been something that clicked with you guys when you heard about the T-shares and started understanding what a T-share would be worth in the future.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Once we understood T-shares, that's whenever our stakes really just got longer.
Larger and longer.
larger.
Larger and longer. And we started pushing out those T-shirts just because we knew that, okay, they're worth something. You don't want that to expire short term, you know?
You're just moving forward as a small business, though. And so T-shirts make a lot of sense because, just like our business here, Beds to Go, is 30 years old. My dad started it 30 years ago. And you can see 30 years even through the 2008 recession, this business manages to adapt and overcome. And so, you realize this business isn't going anywhere, so you need to plan for the future of it. And I think by being accepting crypto and starting working your employees and opening their eyes to it, it puts them ahead of the business next to you whenever, things begin to change. So that's why I think looking forward really is important. That's why I think Hex made a lot of sense. It wasn't a get rich quick scheme. It was write it out. This is built into the code. The math is there. Just be patient. And so that's why, you can have confidence to me in Hex. And then when you see the amount of stakes out there that can't be ended without penalty, you start realizing the price ain't going nowhere. The Hex isn't going anywhere. There's so much money in this thing. So
yeah, it's an incredible truth machine, right?
Yeah.
If you lie, you're gonna pay the penalty.
Yep.
If you don't keep your word.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's it puts truth to mouth, because you have to go and do exactly what you said you were gonna do. You just can't go out there and say it and then tell everybody else, you go try doing that and you're gonna get wrecked.
For sure. Now let me ask you guys a mattress related question.
Here we go.
All right, my son is 6'something, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". He's taller than me. That's all that matters. And he was showing me these mattresses that they call Wyoming Kings and Alaskan Kings. Have you heard of these? Because I thought he was trolling me when he was talking to me about those.
That's like 3 kings, isn't
I've heard
it?
of them.
Do you know the dimensions on that?
Yeah, so I guess the king is 6x6.
Yeah.
The California king adds a few inches at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So the Wyoming king is 7x7, and then the Alaskan king is 9x9.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm in a family of giants. I'm average size. I'm just under 6 foot. I tell people I'm 6 foot, and my wife does not let me get away with telling people that. She's like, he's 5'11". Don't listen to him. But the truth is, my wife's 6 foot, my son's 6 something, my whole family, they're just big human beings. It's like living among giants. Yeah. And so, do you guys ever have special orders like that where you guys have to, order a bed for someone like Shaquille O'Neal or?
No, we didn't have a custom order.
We definitely do special orders. I think we've only done one oversized, giant, extra long, extra wide king. But we do custom sizes. So if someone wanted an Alaskan king, they could get it. I've never been asked. I've never had anyone try to come in here and buy one. So I think your son's he needs to give us a call. That sounds like something that can challenge us a little bit.
Yeah,
we'd be take care of that for you.
I can't remember what Richard Hart said. He has a custom mattress. He said his bed is 13 or 30 feet. He's basically just got a podium.
If you're a king, absurd. You can sleep on whatever you want, I guess.
Yeah, if you're in the chat or if you guys know, I don't remember the stream he was talking about how big that bed is, but he was talking about ordering custom sheets and stuff like that, where it just sounded crazy.
That's what I start thinking about, the sheets and everything. I'm like, where are you going to find all this stuff?
That's good. Now, going back to the idea about keeping your word and committing to something, Jermaine, you're a veteran. Is that correct?
Yep.
And Jordan, are you in the military at all?
That's the same person.
Yeah. I'm broke.
Oh, sorry.
We got that.
Jermaine.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm the veteran, and Brooks,
No military.
no military.
Brooks. Okay, right. Sorry about getting that messed up.
You're
So
good.
what do you think? Like, there's a huge veterans group
Yeah,
in
I was
in
very
Hex. Like
surprised.
everyone I've talked to is like in the military, in the Marines, the Navy, or the Army. There's a couple of Air Force people, but like we both know that that's more like dressing up than actual military. I think we both
Yeah,
agree.
I,
Um,
I think everybody likes that camaraderie. But it's that same kind of brothers at arm, brother like in the community. Everyone's like, yes, there's drama, always drama, right? But when
right.
is the drama? Like that's like that's like children drama, like in between siblings. It's all love because your portfolio's down. Just relax.
Right. Because in the military, you are competing with each other. There's like a game theory in the military, right? Because
Oh, it's
you're
the
competing.
survival of the fittest.
Yeah, you're competing for rank. You're competing for other, jobs and tasks and things like that. But at the end of the day, you know that everyone's got each other's back when
Yeah,
you're deployed and when you're over in the sandbox. You know that everyone's taking care of everyone, and that's kind of the feeling I get from Hexicans. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, we all want to get more T-shares, but at the end of the day, like we'll all got each other's back when someone attacks the community,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And because that's an honest thing again, because you have to be honest to the system. You have to be honest to yourself because like truth to power.
Yeah. Casey in the chat says Semper Fi. He's definitely a brother in arms there, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, people ask me all the time, like, how did you make it so, for years in the military? And I said, if you quit, they put you in jail. It's not like Taco Bell where you
I
can
mean,
throw down your apron mid
is
shift.
a smart contract there.
Yeah, that's a very that's a mean contract right there if you try breaking that.
Yeah, I mean you got your guys that always try to go AWOL out of basic training, and it's just like, guys, I don't. You just signed up for this. It's not even been 9 weeks, and you're trying to leave.
Right. And I always thought, like, to me, reception was the worst part of the military because you're treated like scum because you're in this basic training environment, but
Right?
we weren't doing anything. We were just bored and
Yeah,
being yelled at all day. And then basic was better because even though they were hard on you, we had something to do. So it kind of like got better and better as you advance through AIT and your station. Like, oh, I'm being treated more and more like a human as I move up. So that was quite interesting.
yeah. It was a good experience. I mean, especially when you go downrange. Like I was in Iraq in 2005, 2006. So, that's some crazy times to grow up and have to, have responsibilities outside yourself where you have others' lives around you that you have to watch out for. So, now everything else in life doesn't seem so dramatic, doesn't seem so like it matters as much, like it's I can calm down and slow down and everything's fine. It's not.
Yeah. Do you ever look back and say, okay, 2005, like that was 16 years ago, where you're like, holy cow,
Yeah.
like that was 16 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, I still remember 19 flying into Baghdad, combat landing here, and ting, 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 jump the airplane, and you're like, well, I'm gonna be here for 13 months. This is gonna be fun.
Well, and that's the crazy thing is if you haven't flown into a war zone out there, they come in really, really high.
Yeah. The
It's not
combat.
like when you fly commercial, you're basically like really close to the ground. You can see most of the stuff on the ground. You're kind of like cruising in like real slowly. When you land in like Bayap,
Yeah.
which is what
Exactly.
Baghdad was,
Yeah.
you go in super, super high, like miles above, and then they just like they basically like nosedive almost straight down into where they think is the safest,
Yeah.
and
They
then
hit.
boom, they land.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's wild, and like you're not used to that if you're not used to that, and so all of a sudden,
No.
you're in Kuwait. Like we were in Kuwait for a month, man, before we
Yeah.
even flew into Baghdad. So we had no clue that this is what was going on. And all of a sudden it's just like, well, all right, boys, we better get up real quick because, mission starts today.
Yeah, time to get your stuff together. We're going into a place where people are trying to shoot you and hurt you. So that's crazy. It's a crazy experience. But like I said, it's something that I find you can talk to a lot of veterans in the Hexagon community, and they have that camaraderie and that understanding of committing and being away from the family and things like that. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. It just kind of grounds you, really does.
Right. Now, you guys were saying you're both coming out to Vegas in March. Is that
Yeah.
right? And you're both married?
Yes, sir.
So Brooke is he's a single crazy guy, and then
someone's got to keep it live, man. I mean, I keep hearing horror stories about you married guys. So.
Yeah, Vegas is actually a lot of fun, even with your wife. I've gotten a lot of times down there with my wife. I don't live that far from Vegas, so I'm going to be going down and helping get stuff together the week before the event, and then of course I'll be there during the event with my wife, helping run stuff and enjoying meeting out all the Hexagons. This last June in Vegas, it was incredible. Like I helped host the Salt Lake meetup, and there was a lot of excitement and fun there, but it was like turned up to 11 down in Vegas with all these Hexagons down there.
So that's how we kind of
for it.
are gathering from what happened on the last Vegas trip that we heard and saw.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the other thing that we're looking forward to on this one is last time they kind of booked a few places throughout town. And so we were trying to like meet up here, meet up there, meet up there. Where this time there's going to be a lot more stationary, like almost a home base for you to chill with the Hexagons. And then you can obviously, go have fun wherever you want by yourself. But this time it'll be nice to have an actual like place where the Hexagons are going to be hanging out if you want to go hang with them. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking forward to, is like just having so many Hexagons in one place. Like, you're gonna meet some people with like minds and people you can relate with, and like I just feel like we were talking about, the community is awesome here. Like, you wanna be involved with social media and engage when you're a Hexagon. When you're not, you could care less.
Yeah, it's so true though.
Yeah, totally. Now, looking forward, like you guys said, you'd sacked for Pulse. You're looking to see kind of game plan what you guys want to do for the swap sacrifice. But once this is all rolled out, like, how do you guys see this turning out? Like, let's say PulseChain is launched, PulseSwap is launched, everything's going. We got 2 chains humming along. How do you guys see the whole ecosystem turning out after that? You guys got predictions, or
Well, I mean, if Richard was right, Richard's been right a lot, and he thinks that we are going into a bear cycle or a bear market, and PulseChain launches during that, I think that could be a game changer. A lot of money's going to kind of be flocking to go to a place where it's treated well. And I think it could be treated very well in 2022 if that starts to launch, and all of a sudden, everything's starting to spiral downhill. I think that PulseChain is going to do significantly well.
Yeah. What do you think, Brooke?
I think PulseChain is going to do well. I'm thinking more in like the same time frame as Hex. Like, I think it's going to come out of the gate, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time to gain some traction. But I think, like Jordan said, I think with it opening a bear market, it should perform really well out of the bat. I can't make any type of price prediction, but I have a feeling if you sacrifice, day 1 through 5, you're going to probably be doing pretty well in Pulse. Maybe not right when it starts, but because I think people are going to take some time to figure it out and learn how to basically jump from an Ethereum network to, the PulseChain network or whatever they're using. So I think there's going to be a slow adoption time, like where you have people literally just trying to figure out, tread water lightly before they start really playing with money in it. But I think once people start playing with money in it, they're going to stay because they're treated better. Like Jordan said, you get more for your money in PulseChain as long as it does everything that we're expecting it to do.
Yeah, I've gotten probably 15, 20 onboards, but the problem I'm having now is just the they're not wanting to put a lot of money in, and that's fine, but then they get tore up with the fees. So, that's the kind of catch-22 we are in right now before PulseChain launches. Is just where is the money gonna be okay before this goes live. So I've been just like, if I've put any money in, I've just 5 did, just because I'm going to get the best bang out of my buck if I do that during this short time frame where gas is expensive. So
yeah, right now, right, what he was saying, it's hard to really get new people on ramps unless they're ready to throw a substantial amount of money at it, because we're still kind of younger dudes, and some of our friends, they want to throw maybe $100-$200 at it, and you're just like, man, the gas fees and all that, you're just gonna like you should definitely get some hex, but like you almost have to time it to the weekend on a Sunday,
yeah,
like at midnight, and it's just too much for them, you know what I mean? So
Totally, I can totally relate to that. I've been telling most of my onboarders, if you got $1,000 and you're willing to lose a few hundred,
yeah,
300 or 400 into fees, and as long as you're willing to wait at least 2 years on
but
your
that's 30
stakes,
to
that's a good rule of
40%
thumb.
though. That's sad though.
it's so hard to stomach. You've really got to believe in it. But these people haven't had the experience we have. Like, have you guys had a chance to restake anything yet?
I did one short stake just to really practice, and that was it. But no, all our stakes are.
Yeah, I got 15 and they're all staked out. Like,
so the fact that you guys understand the melting T-share is it speaks a lot to how smart you guys are, because a lot of people, myself included, we didn't really wrap our head around it until we started unstaking stuff for big payday or short stakes and being like, hey, where did all the T-shares go?
Yeah.
And then you really see the difference in the T-share ratcheting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that share rate just going up every day it's insane.
Once you
it's sneaky,
logarithmic, and it's always going up. And
it's super sneaky.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
But it's great because 2 weeks ago you look at the share rate or whatever, and it's like, wow, it was that low. Now it's already 200 more hex or 300 more hex higher. And so that tells you the system's healthy because people are in staking, people are restaking. It's only getting higher up at a more exponential rate.
Yeah, we're creeping right now. We're creeping towards 20,000 hex for a T-share.
Oh yeah.
And then in not before too long, it'll be 30,000 hex for a T-share. And so at that point, when it's 30,000 hex for a T-share, you'll have no choice but to maximize the longer pays better to get the same deal that you did on day one.
Right.
So you've got to stake 10 years just to get the same deal you did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy. I love this
genius,
system.
Though. It's like Richard said, it should win a Nobel Peace Prize, man. Like,
it really
should. It's a genius economic design. It
really... Now let's go into the future 5 or 10 years. You guys have more money than you ever wanted, right? So you guys have enough money for all your hopes, goals, dreams. You guys have paid off your relatives' houses or whatever you want to do. What do you guys think you would do if, with all that time and the money in the future? What do you guys got planned?
I couldn't even tell you, really. It's it's one of those things where you can't imagine that kind of substantial wealth, But if Richard's taught us anything, it's always about self-help. So if you're not using that money to help people or help things, then I really don't think that you should even have some money like that. I think that like the 27 million to sends, like stuff like that is what people with substantial amount of money should be doing with their money, is to help longevity, help our lives, help the human race. Like that's the kind of stuff I think we should be doing with our money, not buying 25 different cars and, different houses. Like, yes, that's all nice and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's about our health. It's about, our existence, if Richard would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Brooks, you're already a business owner, because a lot of people are like, oh, I need to diversify. Maybe I'll buy some businesses. Maybe I'll buy some real estate. Where do you think you would go from the mattress store, given a bunch more time and money on your hands?
So I'm kind of with Jordan. Like I'd like to think I wouldn't go like spend it lavishly. Pretty simple. I have this dream personally of like starting a farm that helps like employ people that need purpose in life. And also I would love to do something about the plastic problem.
The plastic problem.
Yes, the world has a huge plastic problem. So I think I would start looking at, if I had the money to build in a business that somehow improved recycling, or a farm, one of the two, maybe both.
Yeah. I can only imagine the packaging that you see in your line of work.
It's crazy.
Right?
That's what makes me want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see so much waste, and we recycle
we recycle our mattresses too.
But like you still end up with so much stuff, and you see it every day. You start waking up to it when you watch people check out the grocery store, and you watch people chug a bottle of Pepsi, then throw the bottle away, and you're just like, we sold out for convenience. Like, we need to fix this.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Shout out to Russ, who quoted you guys Nobel Prize worthy. And then
thanks, you guys.
And then Bearded Saints giving you a thumbs up, and Keith Knower, I'm gonna guess that's Knower. It says, my kind of Hexicans, happy for you fellas.
Thanks.
So
everyone.
Brooks said it right during our interview with WATE, was like, this brings on to so many different people that we didn't have exposure as potential customers that we do now, just because they are holders of what we hold, and just the exposure like that got someone in the business to buy with something that wasn't fiat. And it's just great. It is truly, absolutely great.
It makes it tangible. It makes it real.
It so tangible.
It makes that crypto real when you can use it for something in the real world.
Yeah, it really changes the way your brain thinks about something when like you said, when it's tangible. And shout out to Renob K-Sid.
The guy that bought the mattress, like he is such a nice guy. Like, and before he had the purchase, he was very quiet. He didn't really know a lot about Hex. He got in and got lucky, as he put it too. And so, but then at the end of the day, he just found 2 new Hex best friends. And and we've had pizza since, and it's just really cool to.
We got a little Hex posse over here.
Yeah, man. just from this small little exposure we had. So it's really awesome to be able to know that there are other Hexicans out there that are in areas that you may or may not live in, and that just the power of the internet brought them together, and the power of Hex.
Yeah, and Renob in the chat here is saying it starts with someone. Absolutely. Which like everyone talks about the Bitcoin pizza, right?
Yeah,
where it came into the real world, right?
And what was crazy is this guy he paid 1,000 Hex, and then I think at the time it said its estimated fee was like $27. He printed off the Ether scan for the gentleman, and it ended up costing him only $18.13 to make that transaction.
Yeah.
So like that's less than for us to pay a credit card fee. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. That what is that 1.8% that he paid on $1,000? Like, that's
You're so good.
pretty awesome, you know. And that was when gas fees were actually at a relatively good price that day.
Wow. So even with the Ethereum gas fees, you're saying that small businesses pay a large chunk to these credit processors.
I mean, yeah.
Well, we you get about 3% taken off as a small business if someone runs a credit card.
And then Amex has their own percent, so it's, you know, higher than whatever, you know, your top 3 Visa, MasterCard or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that adds up at the end of the day.
Wow. So if a small business increases their profit by 3%, you know, they're basically, I mean, the margins that a lot of people are running on are what, 5 to 3% they're hoping to keep net after all their volume and stuff.
Yeah, that can make a difference. If sometimes if people won't run a credit card, you might get a better price just because, like, we know it's 3% that we almost have to account for in the sale. You know what I mean? So I mean that's just small business 101. It's that way everywhere.
Wow, it's crazy how the middleman and the middle guy gets squeezed right now because you guys are trying to offer someone you know, service, right? And knowledge. You guys are like, look, if you guys want a bed, we're the guys you got to come talk to. We're going to help you make the right choice because that's a big purchase for a lot of people.
Yeah, and
beds, cars, furniture.
They're not built to, you know, they're built to last. So some of our top end bedding's 25-year non-prorated warranty. You got to talk about that's guaranteeing someone that it's going to last for 25 years. You know,
it's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's going to last longer than some steaks.
It's going to last longer than a lot of marriages.
Yeah.
You know, like, forget the kids, who gets the bed.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. And then K-Nob says that his parents have a deli in Virginia. It's one of the most expensive in America. So yeah,
they're definitely trying to. It seems like they're trying to make it harder and harder for small businesses, especially in the last 24 months. Like, it just got everything got 2 times as hard, 3 times as hard, really.
Yeah. I mean, especially with big box stores and us, it's, you know, it's got to where it's hard to compete.
Yeah. Well, and the supply chain, how is that affecting you guys? Because I know a lot of supply chains have been affected over the last couple of years. So you're like probably waiting to get certain inventory in. Has that affected you guys?
The biggest thing that affected us, we had some supply chain issues with mattresses in the beginning. Those got better because we're all made in Tennessee. Like, our mattresses are made in state. The problem was manufacturers were having problems getting the foams to even make the mattresses. That caught up. The big one is furniture.
Yeah.
Furniture is horrible. It's still bad. But mattresses are bad if you're not local. I know other stores that are still 8 weeks out on mattresses, whereas we're like 10 days, just because I think we avoid a lot of the shipping logistics, being that our manufacturer's 2 hours away.
Yeah, we got a couple questions in the chat here. Finbear asks, when point and pay? I think that means like being able to scan a QR code and just send you crypto from wallet to wallet.
I mean, technically, my QR code's on the Shopify website.
Very true.
So
that would be for the hex.
But yeah, we were talking about what it really looks like being seamless. Like, I could imagine at some point in the future, I'm talking down the road, that someone can almost have like a debit Visa or almost something on their phone that's works just like their bank card, but it's all connected to maybe the PulseChain network and is interacting there with every transaction, but it's making it simple for the everyday user, because that's what crypto needs. People aren't going to adopt it unless it's easy as as all get out, because
as easy as Venmo and those type of things, right?
You gotta be as fast as a Visa, and
Mhm.
that's the way I think it needs to be for it to get adopted. But I don't know how or what that looks like exactly.
Yeah. Hexacat is asking when Pulse comes out, are you guys going to take that as well?
Oh, we'll take anything.
Absolutely.
We'll take anything.
Yeah.
Because we know the end game. We'll convert everything we take to Hex and we'll stake it for the business. So it's
when Pulse comes out, we'll want Pulse and Hex.
Yeah.
So we'd definitely take some Pulse, but really any other crypto that's Pulse or Hex is just going to get traded or swapped to Hex. So that's why we'll take anything, really. And I don't mind to eat a few fees to get some Hex.
Nope.
I don't know if I understand this comment, but he says, I got my parents a Square unit, the $1,000 unit with a tip feature in the brick and mortar. 2019 tip money was $1,400, but with the new unit, the tip feature, the locals gave them $22K in 2021. I'm not quite sure what that means. Does that make sense to you guys?
Oh yeah, I know what he means. He means that it means that before, basically they used to have a tip jar out there, and they got $1,400 a year in it. Then they got a Square payment system with the user touch interface with the option to tip.
Oh, okay, yeah, the Square.
People just naturally hit 10, 15, or 20%.
Yeah,
they got literally like
$22,000 last year.
That's insane.
That is insane how like just a small change can affect human behavior and profits right there. That's a really good example there.
We've sold out our lives for convenience.
I'm telling you.
He said to me the other day, and I'm just like, it makes sense.
Humanity sold out for convenience.
Yeah. Hex Toshi's saying he needs a mattress. Do you guys ship to Texas?
We do. Yeah. Send us an email if you could at bedstogo@aol.com, and we'll definitely take care of that. We got a website. We can send you, and any of that stuff on the website, you got free game too.
Yeah. Renob says when guests are coming over soon, go and get them a damn bed to make them sleep good for the holidays.
Yeah,
that's it.
We sell a lot of those.
It's just that time of year where people are
like, I just gonna throw them.
I got someone coming in tomorrow. Do you have anything? And we're like, yep, I know exactly what kind of customer you are, because that happens quite frequently.
Wow. Renob says they ordered a couch in June and July. It's still not delivered. Yeah. So I've seen that too in a lot of places around here.
And interior designing, and some of their custom couches are 8 to 12 months out.
Yeah, and then Renob says people fought us for giving us bigger tips. We were embarrassed, and they were like, "Shut up! We want to give you this tip." So people really do want to be generous when it's easy, right?
Yep.
When it's easy.
Absolutely.
And then Ancient Earthways, a good friend of the show, says point of sales would need merchant adoption. Any ideas on using someone as a third party, or we can DeFi this? So what do you guys like? You guys were saying earlier what a point of sale would have to be like, and you guys were mentioning something as easy as a card that processes quickly, or I mentioned like something similar to PayPal, or Venmo.
Yeah. I mean, or even something as similar to like, a machine that is connected to the blockchain, whether that be the, Pulse block, it could be just connected to the internet, and that it could take, transactions. It would be really cool. It could spit you out like a receipt with like your ether scan to like, show you exactly everything that you would do with the ether scan on the blockchain. If you can get a payment within, 4 to 5 seconds, and it, boom, prints you off that receipt. That would be really cool, just to see that kind of, where it almost look like a credit card machine. You would put your DeFi card in it, and boom, it would know exactly what network it was on, and it prints you off a receipt just like an ether scan would. That would be really awesome.
Yeah. That would be really sweet. Really sweet. So what do you guys do in your spare time when you're not, taking care of mattresses and, your families? What do you guys like to do in your spare time?
We like to golf. We try to
Golf.
hit the golf links a little bit every now and then.
Golf.
Um,
I like to farm when it's in season. Grow produce.
yeah, he's a green thumb. He likes
Yeah.
to just go out and grow all kinds of
I
stuff.
like to hike.
Well, hey, let me invite you to Hex Foodies. Have you heard of Hex Foodies yet?
No.
So Hex Foodies has their own Telegram group and their own YouTube channel, and it's a group of people that are into growing food and doing the
that's
sustainability thing.
Yeah,
I do
so
need to get
that's-
involved with that.
Yeah, jump in on that. Well, they do a stream every Tuesday at 11 in the morning. But let's see here. Renob says trying to figure out a retail crypto connection to make it seamless. And then Hexacat says you guys might want to consider USDL if it becomes live on the PulseChain network. That's the stable coin that the liquid people are trying to get ready for PulseChain, as it may be the only stable coin on that chain at first. So that's another way people might enjoy spending their monies, because they know how much it's going to be worth compared to dollars. Renov says sleep. Go ahead.
Value everywhere. If people can see that value in a two-way street where we're willing to take someone's hex and they're willing to give us that hex for our mattress, and there's a two-way street there, it's great. Sleep, golf, grow, market. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And then again, shout out to Ancient Earthways. He says loving the farming and hiking.
That's it.
He's all about that.
That's the good life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So anything else you guys want to bring up? You guys want to give us a shout out for? Oh, let's see, Finn Bears is talking about Hex Foodies. So he's part of our Hex Foodies group. So that's awesome.
I'm gonna check that out when we get off here.
Yeah, Hex Foodies is a cool group. The leader is Eco Builder down by Austin. So he's going to be catching the tour when it hits Texas. And then Hexcat's talking more about never having to sell Pulse. If USDL or Liquid pulls off what they want to pull off, then you could basically have a never-ending printing machine throwing off all sorts of interest and fees. So
yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how that works, because if that works out, that's going to be nice to utilize that tool.
I mean, the game theory with all this is it's insane. I mean, with all these different protocols and product or things launching, it just gives you endless opportunities. I mean, it truly does.
Yeah, awesome. Now, where do people find you? They want to follow you on Twitter. If you guys ever put out more content on YouTube, I know that people can go watch the ABC clip on your YouTube channels. Yep. So give me your plugs for your YouTubes, Twitter. Where else can people find you? And they want to buy a mattress, if they want to talk hex.
Go ahead, bud.
So YouTube, Diamond Paws. It's a nod to my dog. Just Diamond Paws, like dog paws. And then on Twitter, I'm the Diamond Paws.
YouTube,
Diamond Paws.
YouTube is HP Morgan, and then Twitter handle Jermaine Hexagon. Both HP Morgans though, on Twitter and YouTube.
Mine's a picture of my dog.
But is it a Malamute?
It's a golden retriever. Yeah.
Okay. You're actually the second Diamond Paws down. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why I like that name, dude. I searched it. I was like, dang. Shoot, yeah.
I'm subscribing to Diamond Paws right now. And then what was the name of the other one?
You.
The HP Morgan. I don't have any subs, but you'd be my first.
HP Morgan. But you got the video up there, right?
That's it, man. Right. That's it.
I imagine there's a JP Morgan. See, YouTube just thinks I don't know how to spell when I put in HP Morgan, but
yeah, you got to have that hex pulse in there. HP. That's too funny.
Yeah, that's what I need to do is put hex pulse. And then you're also HP Morgan on Twitter, right? So you're HP Morgan on YouTube and Twitter?
Yeah, handle is Jermaine Hexagon on Twitter, but the name's HP Morgan.
Oh, I found it. Right there.
There
so it's got JP Morgan with the pulse and the hex and the eyeballs.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's we're self-banking interest here. We're banking that inflation every day. We are the money printers. You know, we are our own banks. People need to realize that.
Yeah, and Hexcat says keep up the great work. Benefit the strongest community out there, which, I've never been a part of a community like Hex
No.
in my life. Like even including the military, where
Yeah.
you were tight and you had the camaraderie. Here, it's like because the military affects your life in the military, right?
Yeah.
But Hex seems to affect a lot more of your life and your family and all sorts of things outside of just a job, or a profession.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they love Diamond Paws. Good sleep matters the most. You got
You're right.
instead of bang bang bang, they got bank bank. Bang bang, be a stank or be a bank.
You sleep a third of your life on a mattress.
Yeah.
You know, that is crazy statistics to think about. So you need good sleep.
Yeah. Now I assume you guys also sell bed frames as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We sell all kinds of different, like just from your standard metal bed frame, adjustable bed frames. We do the headboards, the footboards, the whole get up, man. The whole bedroom suit.
Yeah.
With just the nightstands.
Yeah.
Everything.
Now my kids are how do I put this delicately? They're animals. And they've broken almost everything other than those like metal bars, that we got.
Yeah.
We get them a nice bed and they break everything. Them and their friends. I don't know if they're like doing WWF and bringing over 200 pound friends, but like, what's this? What is the? Yeah, Renov says the bed has to be sturdy. Of course, I don't think he's talking about kids. He's probably talking about making kids, but.
Hey, that's true.
Hey, we have
it's a topic in here.
That has definitely been discussed.
So what do you look like? What do you look for in a bed frame to make sure it's not just going to break the first year?
Lots of middle support, lots of slats in the
lots
middle.
of slats.
Yeah,
got it.
Slats in the middle. Usually that's what breaks.
And then just depends on the kind of material the bed's made out of. If it's that cheap wood with veneer on it or something like that, where it's more for looks than it is for sturdiness, then you will definitely get what you paid for. But in any of the hard pines, right? Like any of the
you definitely want hardwood.
Hardwoods would be something, or iron. Iron's kind of
metal beds are sturdy. Metal beds are sturdy.
Yeah. Now, Bearded Saint says he's stoked about the Hex foodies. He's still catching up on 2X, so he's a few minutes ago. Renob says gauge the screws. Does that make sense to you guys?
Talking about using bigger screws, I'm assuming.
Oh, like bigger, thicker gauged screws.
That's what it sounds like to me. But.
Yeah. Yeah, it says don't always need a mattress for that, but it helps. Ancient Earthways, he has a horde of children as well. I could tell you that. He knows what he's talking about. And then he says girth them screws. I don't know if this stream is about bedding anymore. I think it's a severe turn.
We're getting some adverbs and some pronouns.
We're getting here, boy. We got a lot of.
Oh heck, I've had an awesome time talking with you guys.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that you reached out and answered the phone. It's always great to meet Hexkins, whether they're one state away or your neighbor or on the other side, over closer to the East Coast. I really appreciate it. And so thanks again for coming. We're about an hour now, so we'll make sure that we let you guys get back to all your stuff.
Yeah. We know you got things to do tonight.
I've got a Christmas program to go to. You remember in the old like The Simpsons, where the Simpsons go to their kids' Christmas program and they lock the doors, so like no one can leave. That's like a real thing. Ancient Earthquakes is asking real quick. Do you guys got beds with technology like Alexa or the Sleep Number style?
No, but our adjustable bed frames are Bluetooth compatible.
Yeah, you can download an app and they can,
and then they can adjust and stuff like that.
Yeah, do things on the phone.
Yeah, thanks for being online by the time I got back. Thank you, and good dudes, fun stream. So I can't wait to talk to you again. I'm definitely going to see you guys in Vegas if I don't talk to you before then.
Absolutely. That'd
And
be
then
great, man. Yeah.
reach out if you guys got anything that you guys want to stream about or bring up, and we'll catch you later. So let me end the broadcast here.
Sure, man. Good meeting with you.
Hey,